Hey, it's Veteran Game, your home for honest reviews, hard truths, and deep dives that tell you exactly what's up with your favorite games. Smash that like button and subscribe for more takes that go beyond the obvious. Today we're talking about a legendary name in tactical RPGs, but with a modern twist that has fans scratching their heads. This is the Front Mission 3 Remake review, and you're going to want to hear the full story before you drop your hard-earned Jill on this one. Alright, let's go back. If you were playing tactical RPGs in the early 2000s, there's a good chance Front Mission 3 was your jam, or at least on your wish list. Giant customizable mechs called Wanzers, a surprisingly complex story about Cold War tensions, and that PS1 Squaresoft magic. It was one of the most ambitious strategy games of its era and a classic for anyone who wanted something more mech-brained than Final Fantasy Tactics. So, when Forever Entertainment and Megapixel Studio announced a remake for the Switch, fans had every right to be hyped. But does this new version live up to that legacy, or does it fumble the controls before it even gets out of the hangar? Let's start with the good, because yes, there's some of it here. The core story is still gripping, arguably the best in the series. You play as Kazuki Takamura, a Wanzer test pilot who gets swept up in a worldwide conspiracy, espionage, and full-on geopolitical disaster. Right after the tutorial, you're hit with a genuinely important narrative choice. Follow your buddy Ryogo on a routine delivery or not. This simple decision branches the story in massive ways, giving you two totally different campaign paths, something RPGs even today rarely pull off. This replay value alone is worth a nod. Add in the fact that this world building is still classic Squaresoft. Think global stakes, military intrigue, and actual weight to your decisions. It's that good. Dialogue is mostly delivered through text over static backgrounds, which will feel very visual novel-ish if you're coming from modern, fully voiced RPGs. But if you have a taste for old-school story delivery, you'll feel right at home. Now the combat. Front Mission 3 is still a turn-based, grid-based tactical RPG at its core. You customize your Wanzers, change out weapons, arms, legs, even paint jobs, and try to outmaneuver the enemy across battlefields. You've got melee and ranged options, limb-specific damage, and a layer of random chance with abilities that can trigger when you use certain weapons often enough. The depth is still here, and fans of Armored Core or XCOM are going to appreciate how much tinkering you can do before each fight. Quality of life changes in the remake actually help. Combat animations can be sped up, menus are more responsive, and the game is generally more welcoming to modern players who don't have time for 90s pacing. And yes, the soundtrack absolutely slaps. You can pick between the classic tracks or a new remastered score. And it's pure Squaresoft energy from start to finish. Sounds solid, right? Well, here comes the crash landing. The visuals are a sticking point, and not just because of taste. Reports, and some pretty convincing evidence, suggest that the remake's developers use generative AI to clean up, or even create new 2D art and sprites, especially for in-universe web pages and character portraits. The result: some art looks disturbingly uncanny, with characters missing noses, hands twisted into bizarre shapes, and a general polished out the soul, feeling compared to the gritty PS1 pixels. Even if you're not an art purist, the difference is hard to miss, and it breaks the immersion for a lot of returning fans. It's not just the AI art either. Many of the new character portraits have been smoothed to the point of losing detail and personality. Some NPCs look like weird mannequins or half-finished models, especially in the infamous network feature. It's not a deal breaker for everyone, but it is the kind of shortcut that makes you question just how much time and care went into the remake. And then there's the sound design, the new musical arrangements. Genuinely great, but a lot of sound effects like stomping, shooting, and explosions feel cheap, tinny, or weirdly unchanged from the original. It's like someone put all their effort into the soundtrack and then ran out of time for the rest. It's not enough to ruin the experience, but it adds to the rushed feeling. Performance-wise, you're looking at some noticeable frame rate stutter, especially in cutscenes or big battles. It's not game-breaking thanks to the slow-paced, turn-based combat, but it definitely reminds you that this is not a premium production. Maybe this will improve on Switch 2 or future patches. But at launch, it's just good enough, which is honestly a recurring theme for this whole package. Let's not ignore the actual gameplay gripes. The remake's combat, while still deep on paper, makes some baffling design choices. The inability to specifically target enemy limbs makes some battles feel like you're just hoping the RNG gods give you a break. You can plan all you want, but when you're reduced to hoping a special ability randomly triggers, or you hit the right part by accident, it feels more like a slot machine than a strategy game. That's a huge step back for a series that's supposed to reward tactics and planning. And this brings us to maybe the biggest issue. This remake feels like it's for newcomers only. If you've never played Front Mission 3, it's a pretty solid way to experience the story, get a taste of classic mecha tactics, and see why this franchise still has a loyal fan base. But if you're a returning player, especially someone who still owns the PS1 disc or has played a fan translation, you're going to notice the corners that were cut. AI art, simplified portraits, missing visual grit, and performance issues that have no excuse in 2025. It's a game that feels rushed, half-hearted, and ultimately a little cynical. Forever Entertainment has a reputation for delivering good enough remakes, and unfortunately, Front Mission 3 Remake fits that bill perfectly. Not a disaster, but nowhere near the full revival this series deserves. So, should you play it? If you're desperate for a portable version of Front Mission 3 and don't mind some ugly art and a few technical hiccups, this is still the best way to experience the story and branching paths. The core gameplay loop is there, and there's fun to be had if you temper your expectations. But for hardcore fans, stick to the original. If you're looking for a true remake that honors the art, the atmosphere, and the strategy, this one just doesn't clear the bar. It's a 510 game propped up by a 910 story and 1010 nostalgia, but let down by a 210 effort on the remake front. That's the brutally honest verdict from Veteran Game. What do you think? Did Forever Entertainment drop the ball on this one? Or are you still excited to get back in the cockpit? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more fearless reviews, retro deep dives, and hot takes on everything gaming. Until next time, this is Veteran Game logging out.